Well, good morning. We're off on our wandering this morning. Bit exercise, bright and early, bit fresh, but not a cloud in the sky. So I hope you're doing well, wherever you are checking into this one. Today's theme, we are talking about that challenge of when you first become a leader. Now, a couple of things can happen. You can either turn up to a new job and you are now the leader and everyone looks at you. Who's this person? And then the second challenge can be also that maybe you were promoted from within the company. And so you find yourself now looking at all your teammates and they now look at you a little bit differently because now you're the boss. And so they're questioning, well, we really know you. So, it can feel like you've jumped into the furnace. That's what we're going to talk about today. It's an exciting time to take on a leadership role, but it comes with a great deal of challenges as well. So, look forward to discussing a number of those challenges with you, ways in which you can tackle them, and some of my own personal journey in that adventure. Hopefully it helps you. We just take this moment just as we get started to invite you to do two things for us. One is to subscribe to the podcast. This really helps this grow and expand. So if you can take a moment and hit subscribe right now, no matter what platform you're on, that would be hugely appreciated and would help us expand this podcast to be able to get more and more people involved. And second thing, I would encourage you to join the Leadership Collective. It is a subscription. It's $9.90 Australian a month. So it's not a big investment, but it allows you to access resources and discussions and coaching and mentoring by leaders and the community around the globe. It's growing. It's in the beginning stages, so it is a place where you get to be one of the founding groups of young and emerging leaders, and we invite you into that. So take a moment if you can, subscribe and check out the Leadership Collective. Okay, so as we think of the challenge of moving from the peer to the team leader, or just entering into a new workspace, a new role, a new job, a new environment. They come with unique challenges, but a lot of the principles are the same. And so we're going to focus on just a couple of things in that journey for you. What should you do? What kind of attitude should you have as you go into those roles? I want to start with, first and foremost, remember, a leadership principle is if you can't lead yourself, you can't lead others. So your own self-talk, your own belief, those things are really critical into where you will stand as a leader in that space. If you go in timid, I'm not talking about a volume sense, but if you go in sort of half-baked, half-committed, looking for the way out, lack of courage, those things really are things that you foster. And you've got to grow those things, and it starts there. So lead yourself well as we even enter this conversation. Come on. My little puppy dog wants to take his time in every single bush today. So come on. You're walking with me and my pup. That's just the joy that you get. Come on, Ollie. All right, so we've taken up that challenge, that new role, what we're going to do, how we're going to do it. And I'm going to highlight to you 3 C's. Very common framework. That's not one of the C's. All right. But 3 C's, talk about clarity, I'm going to talk about competency, and we'll talk about connection. All right. And your relationship to those as that new leader transitioning from to a new environment or a new role within your team. Okay. So clarity. Your job has changed. Remember that. You're no longer doing the old job. You're now doing a different job. The mentality you're moving from is doer to multiplier. Okay. So to gain clarity in what you're doing, if you just do your old job plus some more tasks, you're really not changed position at all. You just got more jobs to do. Leadership is influence. Okay. And so what now do you have influence over? What is your responsibility? Okay. What are you responsible for in a box? What are the things that you can influence that are outside of that box? Okay. And what are the things that you can't influence immediately, or, you're not going to change a government tax law in your country tomorrow. Okay. So, what are the things that are impacting you so that you need to gain clarity that now you need to multiply people. So that's delegation. And so your role is shifting. Okay. So remember that you are no longer the same worker. Okay. That has changed. So you must change also. So that changes your relationship also with your peers and your friends. Okay. Your teammates that were there. Right. That changes that. It shifts. And so you'll need to probably create different boundaries. You can't talk about everything. Not because you hold state secrets, and you can communicate like that if you want to, but that'll just get you into trouble. All right. Just, it's a different conversation. You'll know things about people that didn't know before, and that's a privilege. It's not a right. It's something which you hold very gently in the palm of your hand of that privilege. Okay, never abuse it. Never abuse the privilege of knowing someone's story. You abuse it by sharing it with others inappropriately, without permission. Okay, so clarity. What is your job? Who are you responsible for? What are the targets? What are the expectations? All right. So about competency. Biggest thing I want to say to you here is no longer can you say, they haven't trained me. I didn't know that. Your job now is to discover what you don't know. Go and ask the questions and build a plan to achieve competency. Competency is becoming good at your craft. Now, I'm walking up a hill, in case you're wondering. It's a good hill, this one. So, sucking in a little bit more oxygen. And you would be too if you were walking with me. Just picture yourself walking up a hill, gasping for breath, trying to ask me a question. Okay. So competency, no more excuses. Okay. Become good at your craft. Okay. Set a plan to get better. You've probably been appointed into the role because you're good at what you do, not because you're a good leader, probably because you're good at the task. And a large percentage of people get promoted with that mentality, that skill set. Oh, they're good at it. Let them become the leader. They don't learn leadership skills. And when their job changes, they're no longer a doer, they're a multiplier. They really struggle. So you gotta become good at what your craft is, good at your skill, and that's a leadership skill. Okay. Join Leadership Collective. I'll insert this here. If you're in it or not in it, join that discussion. Hear things, dive in, ask questions. discover what could you learn. Third thing's connection, trust. As a leader, straight out the gate, look for 1 or 2 wins that you can get within that first 1 to 2 weeks. I became a regional manager looking over an area that had 6 campuses, and my job was certain staff in those 6 campuses. I remember turning up to one of them, and I just asked each of them when I visited them, what's a roadblock? What's a struggle? And these were grown men and women in their 40s, 50s, and 60s, managing people. You know, I was expecting some big drastic roadblock. And they said, oh, phone charges for the car. We've asked for them multiple times, but no one has purchased them yet. I paused just like I did then. And I was like, oh, okay. Is that a challenge, is it? Yes. We've been asking all this time. It'd become an irritation. It had become this picture of management won't supply our resources. Now, those of us who know, Kmart sells these for like $7 here in Australia. That's about £4. You know, local Tesco, whatever, do the same thing. So, what did I do? Well, we had a lunch break. I wandered down to the shopping mall, which was just right next to the campus we were at, and I purchased 3 car chargers, cords, just iPhone cords, and dropped them on their desk. Bought it out of my own money. All right, it cost me $20. That's one thing about leadership; it'll cost you. I'm not saying the work shouldn't pay for stuff, but it's just going to cost you. And I dropped them on their desk, and it's like I removed this block that was causing a hindrance, but that was giving credence for them to own an attitude of management won't support us. This is an iPhone cord. Okay. Now that block's gone. Tell me your real trouble. Tell me the real roadblock. Okay, crickets. See? It was a worker attitude towards leadership. It was just having a whinge, having a critique, allowing that to become the point of conversation. And that was destroying team morale. All over iPhone cords. Not one of those people were leaders at that point in time. One of those I know has grown into a great leader. But at that point in time, they weren't functioning as leaders. They were all just chatting around, whinging about the status quo of the day and how life won't change for them. And you're going to encounter that as a leader, and you're going to find the easy win. So find that easy win in that piece of connection in that first 1 to 2 weeks. What's an easy win? All right, move someone to their desk, whatever it is. I've been sitting here, I've asked this, just answer the question, deal with it, make a decision. Okay? Don't get caught in the bureaucratic mess that they are arguing about. Make a decision and move on in a need that they have. Find connection, build trust. Okay, your relationship's going to change with your peers if you're being promoted internally. You're going to shift to become, you're still people, all right, but you're going to shift roles and responsibilities. Okay, but you don't shift value. And some people do that. See, oh, you're more special now. See, we got a value button, okay, versus role and responsibility. So keep your language in role and responsibility, okay, not in value. You're not more important, okay? That's the reality. You're there to serve, all right? You're there to equip. You're there to enable. You're there to expand the people in your team. You have a job to do, which is to see them flourish, not gain all the praise and glory and have them worship you as the leader. What a crappy leader that is. And they exist. Don't become one. So we've done those three things, all right? Clarity, competency, connection. That should help you get going and give you a focus point as a new leader. All right. It'll help you get started in that space, or maybe you've been struggling in that space. Okay. We'll do additional training on, the first 90 days as a leader in a new job. They're different focuses, but this, I really wanted to talk to you about how you change, and we'll end by where we started. It starts with your self-talk. It starts with your internal conversation in your head, which often you'll hear a phrase called imposter syndrome, where you're not quite up to speed or up to the caliber or up to the mark in which people think you should be in. So you feel like you're being something that maybe inwardly you're not. We all have that. We all have that voice in our head, and there are times where we are that. We have to venture into a space that maybe it's new for us, and we're just giving it a go. And all right, but it is a struggle. It can be a struggle. Talk to someone about it. Jump into our discussion. If you want to join the Leadership Collective, you can jump in a discussion there around that concept about how you deal with imposter syndrome. So that should help you learn how to move from peer to leader, peer to boss, start that new role as a young leader, start a new leadership function, whatever it is, but you've made the change. And I want to say, as I end, well done on making the change. Look forward to seeing you in the Leadership Collective. If you're not there already, you're missing out. See ya. Let's go, Ollie. Let's go change the world. I want to say a wonderful thank you to the end of this episode. And I hope that you have learnt a lot in this time and journey with me on my walk with my beautiful dog, Ollie, here in the Australian bush. I want to shout out again to each of you in the Leadership Collective. This will be part of our discussions, but those of you who are not, I invite you to join us. And this is a place where new and emerging leaders can come and share and be a part and ask questions and gain the mentoring and the coaching that you need to succeed in this very busy, this very fast-paced world in which we live in. So I want to see you thrive. I invite you to join the Leadership Collective, and thank you again, and see you shortly in the next episode of the Leadership Collective podcast. That's it from me.